Hey wrestling fans, welcome to another episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic for September 13th, 2016, episode 162. As always, I am your host, Brock, and gonna be recapping last night's Monday Night RAW. RAW was live from Baltimore, Maryland. We see a highlight package focusing on last week, and then Mick Foley comes to the ring and he brings out the women's champion Charlotte, and then we see Sasha Banks and Bayley says since she defeated Charlotte last week that she should get a title shot. And then Charlotte says a few things towards Dana Brooke, and one of them is that since it was her fault that she lost, the record book should say that it should be a loss for Dana Brooke. And Mick Foley makes a match, triple threat, Sasha Banks, Bayley, and Dana Brooke, and the winner gets a shot at the Raw Women's Championship. And this match is won by Sasha Banks, but they didn't say anything about this on Raw last night, but pictures have been posted online that I've seen where actually both Sasha and Bayley's shoulders were down, so they might address that next week and then make it a triple threat match for the women's championship at Clash of Champions. And backstage now we see the Shining Stars with R-Truth, and they're trying to get them to take a vacation or something to Puerto Rico. And then Goldust comes up and takes him away. And then we see Enzo and Big Cass. And they will have a rematch later tonight from last week. And Tom Phillips interviews Kevin Owens. And then Chris Jericho comes in. And he says he was originally going to have Kevin Owens on the highlight reel, but Mick Foley changed that, so he will have Sami Zayn on as his guest, and then Jericho calls Zayn a stupid idiot. And Bo Dallas is up next, taking on Brandon Scott, and he cuts a promo rhyming, and this is a squash match, makes quick work of Brandon Scott. And next is the highlight reel with Sami Zayn. And Jericho ends up hitting him with his phone. And next is match 5 of the best of 7 series. Cesaro versus Sheamus. Cesaro behind 3-1 gets the victory. Now it's 3-2. So I'm guessing next week Cesaro will tie the series, and then they will have the 7th and final match at Clash of Champions. Then we see highlights of the backstage segment between Nia Jax and Alicia Fox, and then they have a match next, and Nia Jax is throwing around Alicia Fox like a rag doll around ringside, throws her into the barricades, and then finally spears her through the barricade, and that's the end of the match. No contest, I guess. And the New Day and the club cut promos on each other once again, and then they have a match. And against representing the club, it is Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. The club pick up the win. Now they'll face Kofi Kingston and Big E, I believe, for the tag team titles at Clash of Champions. Tom Phillips interviews Roman Reigns in the back. And next up, Jinder Mahal, now being known as the man that comes in peace. He cuts a promo about peace, and he takes on Jack Swagger and picks up the win. And when we come back from the break, Tom Phillips is in the back with Jack Swagger, and he asks him, he says it's no secret that Swagger's contract with Monday Night Raw expires soon. And then Swagger was breathing heavy, and then he just walked off. And tag team action is up next. Enzo and Cass taking on the Shining Stars. And the Shining Stars pick up the win, defeat Enzo and Cass. And Owens and Rollins are backstage. Owens talks about how he always had somebody helping him. Corporate Kane, J&J Security, and even went back to the Shield. And then he talks about one of the guys who helped him the most, Triple H, turned on him. And now, main event of the evening, Roman Reigns taking on Kevin Owens. If Reigns wins, the main event match at Clash of Champions becomes a triple threat match. And we see Rollins do a run in here, causing a disqualification. But then Mick Foley comes out very upset. And he tells Rollins we're going to have a talk. And he sends Rollins back to the back. And he restarts the match. The match goes on for a little longer. And then Rusev runs down to the ring and interferes. And Kevin Owens picks up the win, defeating Roman Reigns. So the main event remains a one-on-one match at Clash of Champions. Kevin Owens taking on Seth Rollins. So now I'm guessing that Roman Reigns and Rusev are going to have another match at Clash of Champions coming up after this interference. And that was last night's Monday Night Raw. I thought it was an okay show. The main event was pretty good. And I don't have too many complaints about it. And tonight got SmackDown Live. The SmackDown pre-show on the WWE Network in just a little over an hour. And of course, after SmackDown Live is Talking Smack only on the WWE Network. And that's all for today, right here on 360 Wrestling Fanatic. I hope to be back soon, as always, with more episodes. And remember, you can like 360 Wrestling Podcast on Facebook. And Clash Wrestling 360 also on Facebook. And Twitter at 360 Wrestling Pod. The Instagram is 360 Wrestling Podcast. And email any questions or comments you may have at lb360wrestlingfanatic@gmail.com. Until next time, I am Lance, and I am a wrestling fanatic.